Hello, it is 7:20 on the east coast of Australia, and the polls have closed about 1 hour and 20 minutes ago in the Tasmanian Legislative Council elections. These elections are to elect 3 members to the council in Elwick, which is in the north of Hobart, which is of course, near the Hobart CBD, and Prosser, in the federal seat of Lyons. Most votes for polling places are already in. As you can see, it's last updated at 7:15. We have got most of these results in, so there's no real need to look at the projection system. The question now is, once they finish counting the votes and start counting preferences, how will these figures end up? First, we have Elwick. Let's look at that. Only a couple of polling places here, although almost all of them are in. The mobile booth is also in, and we're expecting a couple of postals to come through later on. Currently, Labor is sitting at 28% of the vote. Thomas Beck, who would be looking to get into the final count on such figures, is sitting on 30.29%. Shelley Janet for the Tasmanian Greens is sitting on 22.65%. The question for her would be whether this other independent, Fabiano, is going to preference her above Labor, because presumably as a Green, if she can get above this 28.34% for Labor, she'd have a good chance of winning, or a decent chance of winning. There's a trend in Tasmanian politics, especially in the Legislative Council, or definitely in the Legislative Council, towards independence. Currently, 7, I believe, of the sitting members in the council are independents. Hobart, the results as of 7:19, very recent. There's quite a few candidates here, so distribution of preferences will take a while. However, we can say a couple of people definitely have lost. Sam Campbell has lost. They're currently sitting on 199 votes and 2.57% of the vote. Haynes Michael, sorry, I'm saying these the wrong way around. Michael Haynes, that's why they've sounded odd, is sitting on 2.04% of the vote. Charlie Burton, as an independent, is sitting on 14.71, a recoverable amount, but it would be quite the race to get into the top spot there. On another insurmountably small amount is Stefan Vogel on 4.08% of the vote. Now for the major candidates. Firstly, there is the Labor candidate, Kamara John, who is sitting on 17.83% of the vote. Given the fact that there are so many smaller candidates here, that is definitely a amount where they could win from. However, that would be a bit of a tough race, and the question really would be whether they would get into the last two. However, the count might not have to go that far, as the former Greens leader, Cassie O'Connor, is looking to enter the Legislative Council in Hobart. She is sitting on 38.79% of the vote, which means, given the fact that they don't tend to count all of the way in these Legislative Council elections in Tasmania, might mean that we won't even get to find what the final 2 candidates would have been, as there's quite a lot of other candidates who could give Cassie O'Connor the amount of votes she would need to get over the line. Other than that, there is John Kelly, an independent on 19.98% of the vote, who will find it, like the Labour candidate, very, very tough to get over Cassie O'Connor from here. In Prosser, there's quite a lot of boos come in, and a lot of them have come in. Looking at it, there's not a lot of candidates, but there is a first batch of postals, which seems to have broken slightly towards the Liberal Party. They're looking to, I believe it's looking to, let's go to the 2018 results actually. They are looking to hold this seat. Labour needs a 2.66% swing to win this from the Liberals, which would be a pretty important result given the state of the Liberal government. Looking at it, however, Labour is currently... scrolled a bit past there. Oh, I need that. Labour is currently have a 6-point first preference swing to them. However, there were quite a lot of other candidates last time around. The Liberals are... The Liberals are 9% above what they were last time, which between Labour and the Liberals would be about a 1.5% swing to the Liberals since the 2018 date that this seat was last contested. Let's zoom out a bit actually. So that is the state of Prosser right now. Okay, let's look at how the preference count might shape out in these results, seat by seat. First, let's look at the Elwick by-election, caused by the resignation of the former member, Josh Willey. Labour has got a quite significant swing against them in this seat, most of which seems to have gone to Beck Thomas, who did not contest last time around. The Greens have got a very slight swing to them in these ordinary... They've got a slight swing to them, although given the fact that these are the ordinary boos, they would definitely have been looking for more action towards them. And as you can see, they're very much not doing that well on the mobile booths, and they would not be expecting to do well on the postals. Refreshing, we can see the first batch of postals has come in, and the Greens have nearly dipped below Fabiano Kang. I'm not going to attempt to say that name. The independent here. So it looks like the final count, unless the Greens massively preference the other independent, will be between Tessa McLaughlin and Beck Thomas, the independent and Labour candidate, not respectively. And going into that race, they will be looking for the first preference lead, and it looks like Beck Thomas has currently got that lead. However, the question will be, will the Greens preference Labour more? We didn't get to see this last time around in Elwick, given the fact that that Josh Willey was able to get over the line almost immediately. So will be interesting to see that as the second preference results start flowing in. In Prosa, not the correct one. No, I need to go back here. 2024 results. Hobart. A little bit more filled out in Hobart. Cassie O'Connor definitely still the favoured candidates. If we actually go to last time's results here, we saw that the last step was Rob Valentine versus Richard Griggs. That's not exactly going to help us interpret this result. So Hobart there, a very promising start for Cassie O'Connor. Looking at the vote, it will be important to see what happens in these pre-polls and postals, because sometimes the Green vote, and in Tasmania the independent vote, will go up at the cost of the Greens in these categories. So we'll be looking for that as they come in. In Elwick, any movement? No. Last upload, almost exactly when I reloaded last time. No new results in from Prosa. And just looking at them, very preferable results for the Liberal Party in the first batch of postals here. You've got the Vision posts. Swansea. Anything new? No. Labour would be looking for some better results, maybe good results in Sorrel and Dodgers Ferry. Let's look at what that was last time. Last time, no, not there. That's the old elections tab. Last time in 2018, Dodgers Ferry gave Sorrel was against Labour by about 50 votes, which would narrow the lead of the Liberals slightly if that were to be replicated. And what are we looking for? Dodgers Ferry, that went heavily towards the Labour Party, so they would be looking to replicate that about 160 vote gap tonight. Overall, all of both of those would not change the overall raw vote totals, the gap in those votes much, but it would improve Labour percentage-wise more than it would help the Liberals, which is important for Labour. The 15.66% vote for Shoes versus Farmers is quite impressive if we actually compare it to the state election results from the same seat of Lyons. It's quite larger. Let's go down to the first preferences here and look at the Shooters, Fishers, Farmers. 4.77. That is quite the increase from the state election result in Lyons. Now, anything new? Nothing new from Prosa. Nothing new from Hobart. Nothing new from Elwick. We will have to wait and see if the Electoral Commission chooses to chooses to yes. I believe that's a new batch of votes. Yes, there is a new batch of votes in Hobart, and is broken heavily towards Cassie O'Connor on 40.22% now. She is very close to winning this election. Now, if I pull up an Excel file and I'll grab the totals, both layers of the totals. I will grab the top layer of this table. Let's just snatch it. Or not. Does it want me to do it? I'm just going to label this formal. Formal. Informal. Total. Get rid of these. Okay. We have, if we shorten these a little bit. Let's have a quick look at what a distribution of preferences might look like. I will enter the split percentages here, and then the mid total here, plus that times that plus that. We have got, let's just extend this down. Okay, I've done the wrong one for the top one. Okay, bear with me. let's just say a very flat percentage split there. This would equal 1.2, and a very flat percentage split here, because I have no idea what those splits could be. That is the point of the distribution of preferences. Now let's convey this down a little bit. Do that again, and get not that, but that. Let's do another basic split for this level. Now let's see what. Oh, 5 minus that's divided by that's equals. Don't make it that long. currently, what this means is currently currently Cassie O'Connor would only require about 40% of the last vote, unless she gets some crazy amount less in other things of the ALP distribution to win the seat of Hobart, which puts her in a very likely position to win Hobart at this point. In Prosa, we have the last normal polling place results, in which we have, let's see, the Labour Party is on 28.27%, which you would be able to see if I go into the correct tab. That's better. The Labour Party have got 28.27% of the vote. The Liberal Party have got 36.57%. The Shooters vs Farmers have got 14.3%, which is likely going to, especially on that sort of position, put the Liberal Party over Labour in Prosa. Now let's look at Elwick. Anything new here? No, but it is a very close race between Tess McLaughlin and Beck Thomas that we need to keep our eye on. Currently, Prosa is looking like a retain for the Liberal Party. It's looking like a retain with a slightly increased margin over the Labour Party of something in the area of 54%. Currently in Hobart, last time around, as you can see, Rob Valentine was over Richard Griggs, which of course is not the position this time. It looks like it is a gain for the Greens at this point. However, that could change. The same with the Prosa results when we start getting distribution preferences much later on. We're not going to get, unless they've got another tab hiding around here, we're not going to be able to get two candidate preferred results. Not indicative and not confirmed. In Elwick, it looks like it will be a race between Beck Thomas and Tess McLaughlin. Tess McLaughlin needs to be preferenced by at about a rate 55% by the other candidates at this point. That looks correct. To get over Beck Thomas in Elwick. Now that's up in the air still. And nothing new there, nothing new from Hobart. No, there is new things from Hobart. Cassie O'Connor has dropped 2 points in the first batch of postal votes. Probably isn't all there is to offer from the postal votes. If we look at last time around, it's close to all. Only 500 otherwise. It has increased the lead for Kelly O'Johnson. In fact, let's put it into the very bad distribution of preference system I got running. On that, we can see, if we input the information, it says that now Cassie O'Connor, that is not a correct figure. If she was preferenced at 49-point rate, she would get to 50% off the votes, which is not right, because this is not correct. .7, no. Why is that not correct? Let's see. That might be. That's slightly off, but not majorly. That's not anywhere near off. But this is off. Why is it off? Because that's off. Is that one? That's correct. That's not correct. Okay, it's looking at the wrong one. Which will also be why the other one is off. Yay. Okay, there we go. And it's still wrong. Nearly. There's nothing else I can do. It's just rounding errors. Let's get rid of these now. And I can see 48%. Looks like it's right. No, it would be right, because if I put the correct figures in here. 1/3. Okay. No, I do not want to replace that. Okay, we can see if there was completely even distributions, which is a big if, then even from this position, Cassie O'Connor would be able to get over John Kelly on these votes, with only a 17% preference rate from the ALP. If we go over here, is there anything new from Elwick? No, there is not. New from Hobart, of course, only just updated. Prosa. That is the same as the last time I looked at it, I think. From last time around, however, we look at the Liberal Party vote, that's gone up by nearly 10 points. That can slightly be attributed to the lack of independence this time around. However, that probably is not quite right. Nothing new from Elwick. Slightly new results in from Hobart. Those are the rest of the postals. What else has changed? Just changed by. It's changed by 600. I think that's the end of the normal polling places coming in, and that puts Cassio Connor on a total of 37.55. Once again, looking back over the Excel file, that would mean that Cassio Connor is still overwhelmingly favoured to win in Hobart. From this point in the night, although none of these are fully locked in, it seems like the Tasmanian Legislative Council, after tonight, will end up with one less with one more Green member. I believe might be their best results in Legislative Council. Maybe. Let's have a look. Tasmanian Greens. Why not go to the wiki page? No. Nothing new coming out of any of the other places just yet. It seems clear. Okay, let's go on a quick break, but I will put some text up. back for no one. No one's here. Still going through the results in Tasmania. Nothing particularly new of note right now. Unless Elwick has given new figures? No. Just says Elwick. Yeah, it tells us that's what the top says. Anyway, that, yeah, slightly awkward position there. Nothing particularly interesting going on. It'll be interesting to see if Labour gets this higher split. As this by this I mean Elwick, as Elwick gets more balance in. Other than that, nothing too much going on. Hobart, nothing out of the ordinary happening there, especially because they only reported 10 minutes ago, and this is not a high-paced election, other than the input of results into this tab earlier on. Currently, nothing particularly is happening in Prosa. If I slide down and copy it into an Excel file, I just arrange this first. Does it work? Yes, it does. Cool. Divide by 0. No, don't do that. I don't want the total formal percent. Go totals. Give me the totals. There we go. There is not that much of a swing. What is it doing? Okay. Let's transfer over to the Excel file. As we can see, last time around, Liberals got 26%, Labour got 21.92%. This time around, this time around it's not doing it correctly. Why is it not doing it correctly? Well, let's not look at that one. Go back to the Hobart screen. And see that pretty much nothing has changed here either. Okay, let's go back to the raw results. Not on both screens though. There we go. Now we can see, otherwise nothing has changed. Wow. Taking a hot second to count those postals. They've probably done counting postals in Prosa. Then we're waiting for pre-polls, which could be happening, maybe, possibly. They haven't come in elsewhere, so is to be expected soon. Have you got any indication on how these preferences might distribute themselves? No, not really. We've got the previous attempt for Spall and Kelly in Prosa. That's not really going to help us. And well, the count didn't get really far last time with Josh Willie in Elwick. We're probably looking just for one more, or at least the end of most of the counting in Hobart, and then that's pretty much callable. Other than that, we're looking for something more to happen in Elwick, which isn't going to happen. It's not happening. Nothing. New in any of these, especially not that, because that is an old result. Nothing new in Elwick, nothing new in Hobart, and nothing new in Prosa. Nothing too new in the front here. Nothing waiting for pre-polls, basically, which might take a while. Quite a lot of pre-polls last time around. And